Okay, so we're going to walk through getting started with using and updating the RSI Momentum Foundation. So to start, we're going to click File, and we can see that we have the RSI Momentum Foundation preloaded in this right-hand panel. This is because I've opened this RSI Momentum Foundation before. If it's your first time opening a foundation, you won't see it in the right-hand panel. You would just simply go to Open Chart Book, begin typing ATS, and then that will populate all of the foundations and models you have access to in your particular tier. So we're going to go ahead and select RSI Momentum from the right panel. So it's loading the continuous future contract for the E-mini S&P 500. The data is loaded, and now we can see we have our RSI, we have our moving average, we have our machine learning models, and our foundation loaded. So let's go into our settings and update the values for our RSI as well as our moving average. To do that, we can simply right click, go over to studies, and we can see our RSI, our moving average. We can then click on settings, and let's change the values of this. So let's change our RSI length maybe to 5 and our moving average to 15. And let's change this to 55, and let's change this to 45. And I'm just making up values as we go along. Click OK. And now let's look at our moving average. So we see our moving average is set to 10. Okay. If we want more signals, we want to reduce our moving average. And if we want to smooth or take fewer signals, we would increase our moving average. So let's move for demonstration purposes, let's drop this down to maybe 5. Okay. Now we can go to our foundation and take a look at our risk and trade management. So we highlight our RSI Momentum Foundation and we click settings. And the strategy type, we're gonna stick with the RSI, and well, let's change it to maybe the RSI moving average cross. So you see you have a few different implementations here. We're going to use the RSI moving average cross. And then we're going to use dynamic risk management. We're going to keep flows. We're going to use institutional flow, but let's drop the sensitivity down to low. And we won't use volatility filtering for this example. For our daily drawdown, let's move that to 800. Max give back is fine. Give back trigger, okay. And let's enter. Let's see, can we enter? We'll still enter at the close, and we'll use a trailing stop. And let's just change our trail maybe to 10 and change this to 10, and let's maybe change our target multiple to 4. And if at any point in time you want to make sure or confirm your understanding of what each of these parameters mean, you can simply click on description here. That will populate this window in your browser, and you can see the study description and a description of all the different inputs. So let's go back, click OK, and we can see our RSI is updated. And let's go to trade activity log. When we click that, that pulls up our window for our trade statistics. Let's make this larger so we can see this is where all of our backtest data will be stored. All of our trades will be here in the trades tab, our period stats, which can be changed from daily, weekly, monthly, so on and so forth. So let's minimize that. We do want to make sure we're disconnected from the data feed. So we're not connected at the moment. You don't want to conduct a back test while you're connected to the live data feed. If you are, if this is green, you simply just click on File, go down to Disconnect here, and that will disconnect you from the live data feed. So now we're ready to start our back test. So we click Chart, we scroll down to Replay Chart, and then bring up our control panel. We do want to leave it at single chart because we're only replaying this single chart, and we do want the replay mode to remain at accurate trading system backtest mode. And we can click play. Here, we do want to select clear all trade data for symbol and account. This is going to remove or delete prior backtest history for this particular symbol and account, so that when we go back to our statistics, we are sure that we are viewing only the stats relative to our most recent backtest. And we can see our account here is SIM12 in the upper left. So we click OK, and that's going to reload our data. And we want to do one last thing. So we want to pull back up our trade activity log, and we want to note this QC in the upper left. This QC stands for query counter, and it's just counting the number of background processes that are still running. We want that counter to be 0. And once it's at 0, meaning that all the background data processing has completed, we're then ready to start our back test. So we can minimize this, and we can just click play. And let's change the speed here. Let's move it down to 480. And we can click play, and we start getting data. We can see our machine learning models are forecasting volatility, they're forecasting liquidity, and just quick glances at the output of our models, we can see spikes in liquidity, spikes in volatility. And our machine learning models power a lot of our features, our dynamic risk management, our institutional flow, our volatility filtering, so on and so forth. And it's literally this simple to get up and running with using any foundation for testing your ideas, experimenting.